It's a beautiful Tuesday morning in the fabulous Florida Keys. I'm Gary McAdams with eXp Realty. I'm getting ready to get downtown to my favorite breakfast place in Key West, Harpoon Harry's. Harpoon Harry's has been around for well over 30 years. It's located on the corners of Caroline and Margaret Street, right across the street from the Key West Historic Seaport, or as it's also known, the Key West Bite. It's kind of ironic. Today's Key West history lesson has a lot to do with the Key West Bite. It was 63 years ago today that the schooner Western Union first came to Key West. Anyone who lived in Key West for any length of time or who's visited Key West frequently has probably been on or at a minimum had your photo taken with the schooner Western Union. They do snorkel trips, they do sunset sails, they do day sails, they do breakfast sails. They do private functions like weddings and anniversaries. Just a big piece of Key West history. Everyone that's lived in Key West knows the Western Union. This is my morning market MLS update video I do every day right about this same time. I report all the new listings in Key West and the lower Florida Keys that have come on the market in the last 24 hours. We have quite a few of them today, so make sure you stay to the end. If you watch this video every day, you will know about the new listings the same day the realtors know about them. That's very valuable information for a buyer to have and puts you ahead of most buyers. Most buyers will wait for a home to come onto Zillow before they inquire about it. And by the time Zillow puts a house live online, it's usually been on the multiple listing service a couple days and all the good deals are already under contract. If you watch this video and you see something you like, you can call me that day and I'll make an appointment to get you inside. If you like what you see upon inspecting the home, we can write up a contract and have you under contract before most buyers ever even knew the home was for sale. You'll also find a much more detailed description of these listings with photos if you follow my blog, keywestinvesting.com. I'll put that web address in the description below. There's a lot more information on the homes, a lot more details, any unique features the home might have. It'll give information on the individual rooms, the room dimensions. There'll be photos of the inside of the home, photos of the outside of the home, photos of the pool if it has one. If the home happens to be a waterfront home, there'll be photos of the water view, photos of the boat dockage. It's just a lot more information than I can cram into a quick couple-minute YouTube video. Again, that web address is keywestinvesting.com. And I update that every day from the multiple listing service as well. If you like this video, please let me know. Click that thumbs up and like symbol down below. If you want to stay current with the Florida Keys real estate market and see what's being listed in Key West and the lower Keys every day, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do a video just like this each morning. Also, make sure you stay to the very end of the video. I'm currently running an offer where I will contribute $1,000 of my commission to go right towards your closing costs, but you have to stay to the end of the video to hear about that. We have a lot of listings to go over today. There were 10 new listings that have come on the market in the last 24 hours between Key West and Big Pine Key. Before I give you the information on the listings, the state of Florida's legal department makes me cover the boring stuff. The information I'm about to give you comes directly from the Florida Keys multiple listing service. I'm not accepting any responsibility for any of these listings. I'm not claiming any of these listings to be my own listings. And I'm not accepting any responsibility if there's any inaccuracies in any of these listings. I'm simply reading it to you right from the Florida Keys multiple listing service. On a day like today with 10 listings, you'll probably see me looking down a couple times. I'm just looking at my computer screen to make sure I read it to you right. I'll occasionally give my own opinion on the property, or if I have any knowledge of the property, if I've been in it, I'll mention that. But when I do, I will clarify this is my opinion or based on my experience or some comment to that nature. Otherwise, you can figure it's just right from the multiple listing service. The first property we have is a very unique property. It's an 11-bedroom, 11-bathroom, 4,295 square foot home with off-street parking for 6 cars. It's located on Symington Street, which is one street, 1 block from Duval Street. Being 1 block from Duval Street, it's also a very busy street. This one's a total of 11 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms broken up into 2 buildings. The main house is a 7-bedroom, 4-bathroom house. And then there's a detached villa that's a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom villa. Each one has their own private pool. The house is kind of unique. If you were going to buy it, the way it's written up in the MLS, I would definitely want to have an attorney look over all the paperwork during your due diligence period. It comes with 2 transient licenses. And a transient license means you can rent the property one night at a time, with the majority of Key West is a 38-day minimum rental period by law. But what's kind of confusing in the MLS is under category, it's listed as a single-family home. If it's a single-family home, you can only rent it to one tenant at a time. You cannot have 2 individual tenants renting at the same time. So I don't really understand the 2 transient licenses. Perhaps it's just written up not properly in the MLS, but I would definitely want to speak with the City of Key West Licensing Department and probably have an attorney look over all the paperwork before you move forward on this one. Especially at the price. It's being offered at $8,500,000, which, in my opinion, that's very overpriced, but that's just my opinion. Then also in Key West's Old Town neighborhood on Tabby Lane, which is a very small lane located about half a block off Duval Street, in between Angela and Petronia Street. There's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1,368 square foot house. It's being offered at $1,999,000, which is an extremely low price for a house that close to Duval Street. Being only 1 bathroom, I would want to add a 2nd bathroom myself. But with 1,368 square feet, that should be no problem. But you would definitely want to speak to the Key West Building Department and the Planning Department while you're under your inspection due diligence period to make sure that you can, in fact, add that bathroom. This one's being offered again at $1,199,000, which is a very good price for a house in that location. Then we go to William Street. There's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 599 square foot condo. This is in Key West's Old Town neighborhood in a very prominent street. It's about 3 blocks off Duval Street, actually 4 blocks off Duval Street. It's being offered at $830,000, which is a great price for that neighborhood and that location. My concern with this one is the condo was what was originally one of the large houses back in the days when people had 8, 9, and 10 kids and they had these mammoth houses. A lot of developers have come in and broken these houses off into small condo complexes. This particular condo complex only has 5 units in the complex. While you're under your due diligence inspection period, if you wanted to move forward on this condo, I would definitely take a good look at the financial status of the condo and, most importantly, the reserves. With only 4 units, you want to make sure there's enough reserves in the fund to pay for any upcoming maintenance. Otherwise, if something comes up, like the building needs a new roof or the building needs to be re-sided or any major maintenance issue, if there's not enough money in reserves, each individual owner gets a separate assessment for that, and you have to pay it right then and there. There's really nothing you can do about it. It's written right into most HOA docs. So you want to make sure there's enough money in reserves. When you have a large condo complex with 100 to a couple hundred units in there, maintenance problems aren't all that much when it's split up between 100 to 200 units, but when it's being split up amongst 4 individual owners, it can be a pretty large bill. Next, we have a similar condo in Key West's Old Town neighborhood, in a neighborhood called Bahama Village on Thomas Street. This one's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 716 square foot condo. This one has off-street parking, which is a great feature in Bahama Village. I don't think I mentioned the one on William Street I just mentioned before, just talked about before. It does not have any parking, which can be an issue downtown. But this one on Thomas Street does have an off-street parking space. As I said, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 716 square foot house. Thomas Street is 2 blocks off Duval Street. It's an easy walk to Duval Street. You can walk to the Truman waterfront, the new water park. You can walk to Mallory Square to see the world-famous Key West sunset. Very good location. It's being offered at $800,000. This is another one of those where there's only 5 units in the complex. It was originally a house. So just like the William Street one, take a good look at the reserves and the financials if you are interested in this property. Otherwise, it's a great location and at a very good price. Then we go to Key West's Newtown neighborhood on Harris Ave. There's a 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom, 3,924 square foot house. 3,924 square feet is huge by Key West standards, especially for this particular neighborhood. That being said, in my opinion, it's also very overpriced. It's being offered at $2,495,000, which I personally feel is extremely overpriced, but that's just my opinion. Then we go up to Sugarloaf Key on Lower Sugarloaf Key in a neighborhood called Sugarloaf Shores. There's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,528 square foot house on the canal on East Bonita Lane. Sugarloaf Shores is a very desirable subdivision in the Lower Keys. The lots tend to be a little bit larger. The houses tend to be more upscale in the most part. The canals are a lot wider, so if you're sitting in your backyard looking out at the water, you're not sitting right on top of your neighbor across the canal. You got a pretty good sized body of water in between you and the neighbor. This house is being offered at $1,350,000, which is an extremely low price for a house on Sugarloaf Shores on the canal. This one I don't think is going to last long. Then we go up to Ramrod Key on Munson Ave. There's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,056 square foot house. Munson Ave is a very quiet street and a really quiet neighborhood. It's about a 25-minute drive into Key West. This one's being offered at $629,000, which is a very good price for any house anywhere in the Florida Keys. Then we go up to Little Torch Key in a subdivision called Jolly Roger Estates on Blackbeard Road. Jolly Roger Estates is a very popular subdivision. The canal's a little bit deeper and the controlling depth is a little bit deeper, so you can get bigger boats in there, which makes it a lot more desirable to the boating community. There's also a full-service marina in the canal system in Jolly Roger Estate with a ship store, a fuel dock, bait and tackle. They sell soft drinks, beer and wine, snacks and goodies, suntan lotion. Pretty much all the basics you'd need for a day in the water or fishing, just cruising around or going island hopping. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,576 square foot house. It's being offered at $1,195,000, which is an excellent price for a house that size on the canal in Jolly Roger Estates. Then we go up to Little Torch Key on County Road. This is a brand new construction house. It built in 2024. It'll offer all the current building codes, which will make your insurance a little bit lower. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,350 square foot house. It is on a dry lot, which means no boating. There is, however, a public boat ramp just a few blocks up the street. But my take on a public boat ramp is if you have to put your boat in the trailer and take it up to the boat ramp, it doesn't matter if it's a few blocks or a few miles. The time-consuming part is putting your boat on the trailer, or the trailer on the vehicle, towing it down to the boat ramp, launching it, taking the vehicle out, and putting it away. This one's not in the greatest of neighborhoods in Little Torch Key. There's nicer neighborhoods. It's being offered at $849,900. As I said, it's a brand new home, so your insurance will be much lower. But in my opinion, it's still at the very top of the price point. I won't call it overpriced, but it's definitely at the very top of the price point for a house of this nature in this neighborhood on this street. Then we go to Big Pine Key on West Shore Drive. This is an open Gulf front. It opens right up. It looks right out at Pine Channel Estate, open water. It's a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 2,295 square foot house with a waterfront pool. Has excellent boating. It goes right into South Pine Channel, which if you go under the bridge, you go into Newfound Harbor, which is one of the deepest and widest boating channels in the Lower Keys. Or if you want to go out to the backcountry to do some top-end permit or bone fishing, some flats fishing, or just go island hopping. There's a lot of barren, deserted islands out there where people just beach the boat and have a picnic or a floating cocktail party, as we call them in the Keys. This one's a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom house, 2,295 square feet. It's being offered at $2,459,000, which is an excellent price for an open water house that big, especially with such good boating. And we made it through 10 listings. That's all we have for today. If you want to take a look at any of these homes or any home anywhere in the fabulous Florida Keys, give me a call at 305-731-1111. 0501. Now, as promised, my offer to pay $1,000 of my commission to go right towards your closing costs. If you buy or sell any home with me anywhere in the Florida Keys between now and June 30th of this year, 2024, I will contribute $1,000 of my commission to go right towards your closing costs. I know being the 4th of June today, it will probably be difficult to close by the 30th, so I'm going to extend that out a little bit. You do not have to close by June 30th. If you're selling the home, the listing agreement just has to be signed by June 30th. If you're buying the home, the contract for purchase and sale just has to be signed by June 30th. Then we can go ahead and close anytime, and I'll still contribute that $1,000 of my commission to go right towards your closing costs. It'll be paid at closing as a credit right on the closing statement. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to showing you homes in the fabulous Florida Keys. And more importantly, I look forward to making you my neighbor. I'm Gary McAdams with eXp Realty.